I basically like GDQ series and the S series.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites, more or less.
Okay. So we're back again. Who knows? Maybe this will happen again, like 100 times. So who knows? So as Varys reaches in, first of all, as you sort of look in, you can see that there are three gems visible. Is sort of the first thing I want to point out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you begin to sort of reach your hand in and carefully tinker to try
Well,
to extract.
I was gonna
Uh,
try and fly them out, but yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. Sort of
Yeah.
reach in, pry out, but you still you have to get your hands into the front panel of it in order to sort of extract them, which they don't look like they're like buried in there really hard, right? So relatively easy to get those extracted. And you get the first one. It looks like it's probably along the lines of a ruby or something like very small, maybe 20 gold pieces or something like that. 50 gold pieces max, depending on who your buyer is. But you reach in, and as your hand begins to sort of extract out, suddenly there's this little flash of light, and you feel a shock as you suffer, and it knocks your hand back 5 hit points of electrical damage as whatever you grazed or touched in there shocks you. You manage to retrieve the gem, but you do suffer the damage.
Oh, I don't hear a save.
No, it's automatic. It's an automatic
Okay,
electric damage when you
fair enough.
extracting him.
Alright.
I want to test the strength. Is there
Te-
like an opening on the top or so?
no, no. There's no like openings over. The closest thing to an opening is it's on its front panel.
So on the front panel, is there an area where I can put my hands
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to sort of grab
without
and
touching anything like on the inside of it,
yeah.
and then try to rip it apart?
Yeah. So give me a strength check. Give me a bend bars.
Oh, Ben bars.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So I say ouch, and I remove my hand before Caitlin tries to rip it apart.
Okay.
And I step back.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't do it while you're
All
supposed to
right.
get over or under.
Supposed to get under.
Yeah,
What's your bend bars?
60.
60? Yeah, so as you grab a hold of it and you go to bend it, you find that the metal itself is incredibly durable. And then suddenly you too feel a shock as this a little zap of electricity hits your hand, knocking your hand back as you get hit with a 115 bolt. And inside you did manage to sort of bend it just a little bit. And inside you can see there are in fact two other gems. Looks like there were enough slots to hold 5 gems in there, but there are only 3 currently. Well, 2 now. Well, one's in, and Varus, it is in fact a ruby, valued at 50 gold pieces.
Nice.
And you can see 2 other ones in there. They're set on a sort of some kind of a plate, and you can see all of these sort of colored strings sort of attached to this metal plate in some fashion, and they run inside to the golem and do whatever they're supposed to do inside the golem. Very strange and alien. What do we wish to do now?
I don't, unless you guys want to keep messing around with this golem, then we
Um,
should.
in the tools I found, is
Mm-hmm.
any of them look like a device to cut things with?
No, you have like a pair of pliers, a little ball peen hammer, a screwdriver, stuff like that. But
Okay.
that's all you find is like tinkerer's tools.
Okay. Um,
A little blunt
yeah,
headed
yeah, well,
A
I
little
mean,
what?
a little blunt headed dagger.
I have plenty of daggers, but I don't want to be sticking that in an electrical thing. So
We know electricity.
yeah,
Lightning.
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm gonna wait and come back to it at a different time.
Okay.
I had one 10 mile there.
No, any bodies? We haven't seen any bodies.
Nothing yet. Um,
We want to look
so,
at this open door.
Yeah, I think that's probably the.
And there's a long corridor with some
yep.
more another door at least.
Yep. There are doors leading. Hang on. I have to reopen my map. Sorry, guys. It's good. That's the one thing that this map didn't do is give me actually colored doors, which would have been nice, but that's okay.
Hey,
S-
Zadkill, you coming with us?
Yes.
he's lying.
The doggone paladin that's always last.
Yep, that's him. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring like Satal and
He's a
Baron up.
cavalier dude would be losing all of his experience points.
So yeah, so you do in fact see that the hallway here turns to the left, and in front of you is a black paneled door. Down the hallway to your left, you can see that this first door. Wait, let me see just to make sure. No, yeah. So these two doors here are both black. So this one here and that one there are also black as well.
Okay.
The open doorway opens into an oddly shaped room. It's roughly 30 feet across by 20 feet wide, but the far wall is kind of curved slightly.
Is there a door here, or is and it's open?
No, it's just an open doorway.
It's just an open hallway. Not. That's what I'm saying. Is there a door that's? Is there a panel there?
No, it's just an open door frame. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Inside, you can see what looks to be just detritus and stuff thrown around. However, you do see that there are bits of bone mixed in with other detritus or detritus that's in here. Nothing, no complete skeleton or anything like that. No skulls or anything, but you do find bones mixed in and amongst the litter and the trash. It kind of reminds you of a small apartment in a city somewhere that's been trashed and just completely molded over the centuries and stuff like that.
We want to take a look around. Hey, Ronnie, you want to make sure none of this is like toxic fungi or anything?
Well, I can certainly do that, and I'll bring in the bear with me to use his nose.
Okay. As you step in, and Burly Bear. Oh, it's interesting. Nothing is moving on my master map. I have reestablished connection. So let's just hope my interwebs doesn't go down. Let me refresh. My viewer map is fine, but my map that I'm actually tracking everything on the DM's map wasn't moving. So go ahead and give me a search check. And take a -1 because you have the bear's nose helping you. So that would be a 4. So as you sort of look around, nothing of interest, nothing of concern. Burly Bear kind of roots through some of the detritus and stuff, but you find nothing like that you would consider
I'll
worth
let
it.
the guys know. It doesn't look like anything awkward in here.
All right. We'll look.
Yeah,
Let me
I'll
detect evil.
come in and take a look around.
Okay. Everybody give me a search check.
Crap.
Well, our
Sorry.
searches aren't working good tonight.
That's what I like to hear. Yep. As you guys all sort of search about the room, again, you spend, 15 minutes or so sort of rummaging through stuff just to kind of get a clue, but nothing other than the material itself is very weird. Normally when you find like parchment stuff and cloth and wood. None of that here. It's all very strange, foreign type of material that you've never seen before, like plastics and polymers and, stuff like that. So no wood or anything like normal per se. The floor itself is sort of a tile, so that tile is kind of familiarish, but even the tile itself, it has a metallic nature to it, so it's like very strange as you work your way through.
Do the tiles pull up?
No, they're actually sealed very, very nicely. You could probably, it is tile, so it is sort of a breakable material, so you could probably bust through it if you were to attempt to, sure.
This period.
Mm-hmm. But once you get back out into the main hallway itself, the floor itself is metal, and it has this metal grating kind of running down the middle of it.
Go ahead back. I guess we want to go up the hallway.
Okay.
Does this look like another open door?
Yes, it does, and you can see that up ahead. The hallway turns to the right, but there is another open door that leads into a large room of some sort.
Well, look in here.
Okay. Inside, you see an L-shaped kind of compartment. Once again, the place looks like it has been ransacked. There are bones and whatnot laying about, and in fact, in the very middle, you can see what appears to be a full-sized skeleton lying amongst the detritus. Huge piles of trash just pushed up against the northern walls and in the little alcove. You can see what looks to be perhaps were some kind of strange tables and chairs, or maybe couches or something made out of strange material, although this is the first time you've actually seen stuff that appears to be any kind of cloth in nature coverings, like they're padded in plush, like this was a upscale place, if you will, that had plush furniture. But what's interesting is the skeletal remains appear to be humanoid, although smaller in stature than a normal person. Like maybe elf, that thin, and that kind of short, but it doesn't have the skull structure that the normal elf would have, right? It has a more human, if you will, like maybe this was a child or a young person, or maybe if it's a full-grown adult, then whatever people inhabited this weird place were smaller in stature than normal humans.
All right. Well, you have my 10-foot pole and poke it.
Okay.
From here.
Okay. Poke it and nothing. It's just detritus and whatnot.
I'm moving it around and see if I see anything of value.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a search check. Hang on, I have to restart.
You going into the room or not?
Well, I'm gonna poke it from here, but you're welcome to go in.
We'll poke the entryway to make sure it's trap door.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm poking the skeleton with my 10-foot pole, but
Yep. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a D4, if you will, Varys. Yeah, so as you're sort of poking around, the skeleton itself is the only thing of interest that you find when you're poking. The detritus itself is just very much like the other stuff that you have come across since you've been here.
And, anything of value on the skeleton?
Not that you can see from here. It looks to be a plain skeleton. Although you will note that it appears to have like bite marks on it, as if something had chewed on it over some time, which is quite possible if there are wild animals running around anywhere that it could have fed on the corpse of whatever the body was.
Maybe like rats or something.
Yeah, rats, exactly. They look to be small bite marks that sort of remind you of rodents.
Go in and take a closer look then.
Okay. As you inspected it, it's just like I said, small, sharp bite marks all along it, as if a rodent or something similar chewed upon the bones or chewed upon whatever was on the bones before that became a full-blown skeleton.
Okay. Well, anybody else want to look around?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me another search check.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, searching around, yeah, you don't find anything really that appears to be of value.
Wonderful. Was there any clothing on the bones or?
No. Well, I take it back. Yes, not so much. Just like little fragments here and there. It appears to be a very silky, shimmery kind of a material. It definitely reminds you of cloth, almost like a metallic cloth. So it's strange in that sense that somebody was able to make something so fine as a silken metal, but that's kind of what it reminds you of.
Would it be appropriate for undergarments, DM?
You know something? Maybe. Although this doesn't look like an undergarment. It looks like it's pretty long. Well, who knows? Maybe if they had like long skirts or something like that made out of them, but it looks more like an outer material, like nothing you've ever seen that would be undergarments that were made like this. No. But anything's possible. I mean, so far, nothing that you guys have seen in here has been relatable to your modern world.
Well, what would we like to do now? Go down this hall or come back and try to
Cloth
force the
covered
door?
couches and stuff.
What's that? Yes, they are. And they're all trashed and they're tore up. It looks like some wild beast just ripped it apart. Like it was digging for whatever was in it or trying to see something in it or whatever. Or maybe they're just having fun with it. Who knows? But it's all torn and in shambles.
Was there
I'll
any
go
cushion?
around that corner with you.
I'm sorry, Deglin, what'd you ask?
Are there any cushions?
Yes, and that's what I said. These are kind of plush. Chairs, couches, whatever you want to call them. Very plush looking and stuff, but all the stuffing and whatnot has been ripped out of them and stuff. Again, even the stuffing, while you recognize it as a stuffing for a plush chair or couch, it's still a strange material, i.e. it's like a very foamy plastic almost.
But nothing that, like, if I start pulling it apart and looking around, do I see anything that's not part of that particular structure?
Not that you have found, no. And your search indicated no.
Out of game, I'm checking the cushions. Change.
Yeah, no. You find no coin. You find no loose change in the couch.
Man,
As you step around the corner, you immediately see down the hall another door. This one has a orangey panel on it.
oh, okay, so we found a couple purple, one purple, a bunch of black, and now an orange. Oh boy. I'm gonna have a field day if we ever find a key thing to open these doors.
We need the master key.
Yeah.
The adventure waits while the master baits.
Oh boy. Alright.
That's what I said.
Good old
Right,
history of the
right.
world.
Yep. All right, give me just a second here.
Is this
As you
another
guys can.
orange store?
Hang on a second. I have to move my map too. I'm trying to
Okay.
keep track of the other two player characters that I have to keep moving too.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I
We
keep
got
forgetting.
you.
No, you're fine. No, that's not you. It's up to me. So at the end of the hall, you see that it ends in a purplish colored door. The hallway turns, and just to the north, there is a black paneled door.
So this one's mine.
No, the one in front of you is a purple. I say violet. Let's just say violet
Yeah.
or purple. And the one up here,
It's
yeah,
black.
that one is black.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we need 3 different keys so far. I see some more junk at the end of the hall.
Yep. Okay. As you guys continue to move, you come to an intersection, and it's a 4-way intersection. Down to the right, you can see that. Well, you haven't got there yet, but when you look around to the right, you can see that there are a couple of black panel doors. Directly across from you, there is a huge pile of rubbish. And all the way down to the left, Varys, your eyes make out what looks to be the figure of a woman lying on the floor.
Is this another open doorway?
Yes, it is an open doorway.
And there's a body
And actually, when oh, sorry, wrong one. Yep. Yes, it is an open. Oops, I keep looking at the wrong one. It is open, and just beyond the detritus, you can see that there are also more black doors. But this first one is an open doorway.
poking around the detritus with my 10-foot pole.
Okay. Um,
Looking for
uh,
anything.
give me a percentage roll, please,
Okay.
as you poke around. Okay. Yeah, poking around the detritus. Don't find anything except for like sort of garbage and whatnot. Doesn't appear to be anything worth of value there.
Alright, anybody else wanna open the hole? Or open the garbage before I...
Yeah, I'm just trying to unlink myself from Burly Bear and I can't figure it out.
You want to? What do you want to do?
I got Burly Bear and myself linked together so I can move them, and now I can't figure out how to unmove them.
Okay. Well, what I can do.
I do see Charlie way down to the left, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's the body I saw on the floor.
Yeah. Let me do this. And I am going to take Ronnie Noblight. All right, Ronnie, you are no longer controlling Burly Bear, so you can move and do whatever you want to do. Should be able to move him.
I see him look around here and then look at the body, maybe.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and as you're searching in this area, everybody give me a percentage check, please.
You want me to roll again or not?
No, you already rolled. So
All
that's
right.
fine. Okay. All these good rolls. Let me give a this is for did it roll as him? Yeah, it did. Good. So now let me do this one. All right. Yep. So as you guys dig through and search, Ronnie, as you're sort of digging through, Varys, as you went in to step in to sort of look into the empty room or the open room, you can see that it's very similar to the other ones that you guys searched. Inside, you can see that there are actually three skeletal remains inside this small 20 by 30 foot chamber. But Ronnie, you find some really weird looking device kind of buried in the debris. And let me see if I can. I think I have a picture of one of what you find somewhere. I just need to find out what picture it is. Come on. It's in here somewhere. And, well, let me find the description. Should have had the descriptions like separate from everything, but they don't. They've got them like all the way at the various places in the at the end. So I have to go like search until I find it. Okay. So as you sort of pick this device up, Ronnie, you can see that it probably weighs maybe 2-3 pounds at most, and it sort of unfolds, so it can fold together. So it has this sort of a dark glass on it, and it has this little piece of metal mesh sticking off to one side, but it has this U-shaped tube that the glass panel sits on. And at the end of one of the at the end of one of the metal tubes is this little button of some kind. So again, I need to find a picture for you. I should have given them all actual names instead of just using numbers, but I'm not that smart. So give me 30 seconds here to find the picture of it, and I will display it to you if I can freaking find it, because it's probably all the way at the end here. There it is. Okay. So I need that picture. So I am going to display this and kind of give you guys, make sure I got the right one. That is. So as I said, you sort of grab this thing, and it has this glass sort of plate that sits inside of a metal frame, and on the one side it has this little wire mesh kind of sticking off of it, and then there's this U-shaped tube that it's sort of bolted onto, and at the end of that U-shaped tube you can see there's this little button. No idea what this device is, but there it is.
It's like a weed eater handle.
Well, I definitely lifted up to the fellas and say, I found some kind of awkward looking thing. Looks like it has a button down here. Totally foreign technology to me. I don't know what
Absolutely.
this thing is.
Magic. Has to be magic.
Snarflap.
It's a what?
Snarflap.
Yeah, it's a snarflap. Okay.
It's a penguin.
Well, I guess we want to put that in the bag of holding or whatever. Treasure. For now.
I don't know. I think we might want to keep it more handy than the bag of holding. What do you think?
Well, you want to carry it?
Yeah, I'll put it in my pocket. What do we call it? A snarflap?
It's a snarflap. I like it.
Yeah.
I want to double check.
Credited to Little Mermaid.
I like it. All right, so Ronnie, you're just going to put it in your bag and kind of stuff it there for later use or later
Yep,
investigation,
for now,
if you will. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now you have that.
Let's examine this room with the body.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, as you kind of looked in, you see that there are 3 of these skeletal remains. 2 of them are about the same size as the last one that you saw. One of them is significantly smaller, like less than half the size of the other 2.
Does it look like they got like cut in half or something? Or
No, no, it
does it
looks
like
like
maybe a baby or
a
something?
baby or a child,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Search around.
Okay. Searching around, interestingly, you actually find something that is different than all the other Dutchess. You find what looks to be a metallic coin, but it has like a sundial at one side of it.
Interesting.
Let me entertain you guys once again, because your humble DM is nothing if he's not about. Don't tell me it's in. I didn't put it in here. I could have swore I put it in here. Let me see. Yep. There we go. I am going to share this with you guys so you can see. So it looks exactly like this. It looks like a little metallic coin with the sundial at one side with a thin piece of string. But although this picture shows the string in the middle, the one that you found has the string all the way to the right. So it's like way on to the right-hand side as opposed to in the middle.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all you find in the room.
I say it seems to look like a scale for merchants' use, perhaps.
It might be, yeah. Might be some kind of weight and measure device or something.
Perhaps.
Or it reads some kind of something. Interesting. Well, what would we like to know? Do we want to go on or go down and look at that other body?
Yeah, let's look at the. See, it was a woman. He didn't say it was a body.
Yeah,
No,
it was laying down, right? You said it was a body laying on the
Yes, it
ground.
looks like a female form lying on the metal floor.
Let's go rescue the maiden.
All right. Stop right there, Varys. Go ahead and both of you guys back up 5 feet if you would.
Okay.
All right. Varys, roll me a die 6.
Alright. Nine in my dice.
All right. Varys was. All right. As nobody is surprised, as you're sort of on edge anyway, as you guys move down the hall, and I am going to move our others. Oops. That's all right. All right. As you guys get right about there, suddenly the female form jumps up. You can see that in her hand, she holds some kind of a metal rod. In her other hand, she holds some sort of a weird, I don't know, for lack of a better term, like a crossbow pistol, but it's not, it's shaped like a crossbow pistol, but it doesn't look like any crossbow pistol you've ever seen in your life. As she jumps up, sort of turns, you can see that her whole body appears to be metallic. Like her mouth, where her mouth is, there's no mouth. It's just like the outline of a mouth, right? So there's like a mannequin almost. And she sort of brandishes this metal pole in her left hand, brings this crossbow pistol or whatever in the other hand, aims it, and immediately you see 2 sort of bluish green, I don't know, lights flash off. One flashes at Deglin, the other flashes at Varys.
Oh, dungeon.
And
Oh, did I take damage?
no, nobody yet.
Oh, okay.
As we,
Well, I made a take damage from the little shock earlier. But
yeah.
yeah.
Wasn't 20 points, was it?
No,
Not yet.
but I need to, first of all, the first one is I'm going to do at Deglin. Oh, I have to, let's see, sorry. Of course, I am not intelligent enough to put the device on the generic version of a robot. All right, where is she? She is there. I've got all that. And tap twice. Okay. And I have to, sorry, I apologize. I didn't add this weapon onto her, so I have to scroll down and get to the weapon itself. So I hit it. All right. All right. So again, this thing it reminds you of a sort of a crossbow pistol in the sense that it has like a grip on it, but it has this sort of this a pimpled and warty glass bottle that it sits on. And again, let me see if I can give you guys a picture of that, just so you guys can see it and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It sounds like a flimmer flam.
Yeah, a flimmer flam. That's what it is. Okay, 57 is the right one. Okay, I'm going to share this with you so you guys can kind of look and see what
More
it
of a
looks
dingle
like.
hopper.
This is what it looks like in her hand as she points it. And the side that's pointed at you guys is this left-hand side on the picture. So the tapered side is toward her, and the pointy side is toward you. And as she sort of pointed at you, you saw these little lights and sort of like electricity sort of well up inside it, and then they all sort of zapped out of the little. There's like 6 or 7 prongs sticking off the end of it, and all this light sort of channeled down and formed one little beam of light, and then it shot. It was sort of like the Death Star, right, where they all sort of focused into one point, and then there was a beam came at them. That's exactly kind of what you see as one beam comes at Deglin and the other one goes at Varys. So again, I am going to do the first attack on Deglin. And it misses as the flashing light, as you manage to go, whoa, and dodge out of the way as the second one goes at. The second one strikes, doesn't do any damage, but let me see. There will be a humming noise and many flashing lights and sparks go off inside. A small number of sparks will shoot from the golden ball at the narrow end, but the ray from the other end will be invisible. Blah, blah, blah. All right. I don't know if it... Let me see what it says about saving throw here. It says... You know, it doesn't ever say anything about save. It just says save is special. Okay. A successful save at short range indicates... Okay. So its short range is 20 feet. So 5, 10, 15, boom. So you are in the short range. So give me a saving throw versus paralysis, please, Varys.
Yay. Alright. Luckily, I have all these items that help out, and I made it.
All right. So at short range, even though you made your saving throw, you are still paralyzed. So at short range, so paralysis lasts 3 turns at short range, 2 turns at medium range, 1 turn at long range. A successful saving throw at short range indicates it will only last 2 to 12 rounds. So you guys watch as Varys dives and tries to get out of the way. He seems to have avoided it, but this ray catches him anyway. And Varys, you now find yourself paralyzed for 6 rounds.
There's no use in listening. Too late. Save me.
So right now, Varys is paralyzed. And now we can get into, let me find the, it's not prone, restrained, paralyzed. There we go. So Varys is currently paralyzed. I'm going to deselect. All right. As we go back into our normal combat. Actions, Deglin.
I'm gonna charge her.
Okay. Still tall is, I think on his inventory he has a bow. So he is going to attack with his bow. So that way I don't have to worry about him. Ronnie Noblite, actions.
Well, DM, I'm going to charge and use my cutlass +2.
I like it.
And hopefully bring the bear with me. Probably he won't be able to get there till the next round, though.
Well, I'm going to assume that Burly Bear was up with you when guys were moving, right? So I know you disconnected yourself from him, but I'm going to assume that wherever you are, Burly Bear, and he always acts on your initiative. So he's going to go with you?
Yes, sir.
Roger that. All right, Varys is paralyzed. Just need to make sure that we know that he's paralyzed for 6 rounds, so he'll be unparalyzed. Zadkill, actions?
Oh, I'm assuming it's a magic wand, so I'm gonna kill her.
Okay. All right. As we have all that down, we are now going to go into our first combat of the night. Let's see how the party does. If I can find out where my dice roller is. There we are. So we go to combat. We are going to begin the combat. Make sure everybody is where they're supposed to be. All right. As the alien, strange, metallic woman, she is going to fire. Yep, she's just going to try to get at Deglin again as she fires her weird magic wand. Seven misses. And that is it for her. Who's up next? Varys is paralyzed. So, Baron, I am going to say that he is going to target her with a magic missile. So, let us cast. All right, he's going to cast magic missile. Target. Of course, it didn't do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 magic missiles for his level, right? 8th level is 4. I really need to document this. 44 plus 4. As you guys watch, as this energy sort of coalesces around Baron's hands and these darts fly out. Boom, pummeling her for 11 hit points of damage. And you watch as bits of metal fly off, slamming in her and opening up. And you can see that inside her as well, she has these strange sort of strings of colored strings and wires, basically, right? These various colored strings inside her as he sort of blasts open her front chest plate, and you can see little sparks of electricity being given off. But that is Baron. I am going to wait for Burly Bear to go when Ronnie goes. So, Deglin, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna charge her and shield bash and take a swing.
Okay. Armor class is 3.
It's a normal size, I would assume.
Yeah, it's just human size.
Oh, come on! It was
I like
almost-
it. I like it. As your attack fails.
Does the shield bash do anything? Like,
Only if you get multiple attacks.
which I don't.
Right. All right. Is that it for you?
That's all. If I only get one attack.
Yeah. You only get the one attack. Yep. All right. Ronnie Noblight, you are up, and then Burly Bear will follow you.
All right.
Her armor class is 3, sir.
I didn't put a charge +2 on there.
So charging is actually, when we looked that up before, charging is only for fighter types, I believe, and they have to have a straight line. So if you don't have fighter in your class, then you don't get the bonus on the charge.
All right. Well, easy enough. 12.
Easy enough. Still hit.
Oh, wait, 4. Yeah.
Yep. How much was that total?
6.
6 total. Nice. All right, Burly Bear. Unless you have something else in addition to that.
Nope, that's it. I'd love to have multiple attacks, DM. If you want to call me like a secret squirrel special ninja, I'd be all for it.
Okay. No, but Burly Bear. I will move him. Where you just tell me where you want to put him. Right next to you,
Yep,
on the other
right
side
there,
of you.
DM, right there.
Roger that. Okay. I am going to go back and reassign control of Burly Bear to you. Just so you can roll his attacks. All right, I gave you ownership back, so you should be able to do attacks for Burly Bear now.
All right, I got it.
Two. His first attack misses.
Excuse me. What's
Nope.
that?
18 hits. His second attack hits. As he does 2 hit points of damage. How many attacks does he get? 3?
Block,
Block.
bite.
That's what I thought. As the bite misses. All right. That's it for Burly Bear.
That's it.
Zadkiel. Zadkiel the Righteous, you're up.
All right, Zadkiel charges her.
You do get the additional +2. Armor class 3. Zadkiel's a 3rd level paladin.
Oh my God! All 3 of us rolled.
6 misses.
How the hell did that happen?
I don't know, but that's it for you. Sultal is actually going to rush over and guard over Varys in order to ensure that this thing does not attack him. All right. Back to the top of the order. Deglin, action?
A quick question.
Yes.
If I were to use my shield and push her up against the wall,
Okay.
how would I go about doing that?
It would just be an attack. It would be an attack, and then it would be a sort of a grappling thing, right? And so it would be your grapple against her grapple.
So, and I'm just using the shield to press her against.
Yes, yeah. So it would still be a grapple. It'd just be like a wrestling match, right? Your strength pitted against her strength.
Would I get a strength damage bonus from?
Well, yeah. So damage is always 1 hit point plus whatever your strength modifier is.
Okay.
Right. That's how I always look at it. It might used to be 1 die 3 plus. I always go 1 hit point plus your strength modifier for damage. Right. So essentially, it's like a grapple attack, and then she would be opposing you, and then if you win, then you could inflict the damage again, 1 hit point plus strength.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, so you're going to grapple her to the wall. All right, so Tal is going to protect, but he is going to bow attack this time. He didn't get a chance last time. Ronnie Noblight, same with the cutlass.
Yes, sir.
Burly Bear, the same. And Zadkill, your actions.
I'm gonna chop at her and kill her.
Don't forget you get 2 attacks this round. All right, as we once again roll for initiative. All right. Looks like you guys get it. Sorry, let me roll this again until you guys get it. It's all right, you guys got it anyway. All right, it's good. Varys is there. So Tal is going to target with his bow, since bows typically go first. His 2 attacks. 18 hits for 4 hit points of damage. As the arrow flies and you watch as it sort of sticks right in her forehead. Boing! But it sort of gets in and you see it sort of staggers the creature slightly, or staggers the golem slightly, but she does not fall as he takes his second shot. And this time he misses. I don't know why he said he... Oh, does that hit armor class 3? Attacks with the bow, 11. Let me double check on him. I don't know if that actually hits. Armor class 3. Oh, yeah, actually that did hit. So he did another 6 hit points of damage. Nice. All right. That is Satal. And Deglin, you're up.
All right, so I just got a hit, right?
Hang on. So I am not up on my grapple rules, especially from first edition. So let me break them out here. I think they're in the DMG. So you would think I would be up on this, especially knowing that this adventure was coming up. But I told you I did not get a big chance to prepare while we were in Hawaii. So I'm going to do this on the fly. It has been a long time since I've had to do any kind of grappling. Grappling C, non-lethal weaponless combat. If you have a DMG, it's on page 72. This is going to be a good refresher for all of us, I hope. Okay, non-lethal and weaponless. So, the attacker takes the number of the column he or she normally uses for weapon attacks, 1 being the lowest level, 2, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Adds a score. She adds the score of a secretly rolled 1d6. The defender does the same, but the die score that a d4. Attacker, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here it is. Pummel. The attack form is aimed at battering an opponent into unconsciousness. It can be used with fists or dagger pommel, blah, blah, but I'm also doing with the shield. 25% of the damage is actual, while the remaining 75% is restored at a rate of 1 per round. Whenever an opponent reaches 0, unconsciousness occurs. It'll last for 1 round, plus whenever. Okay. Determine the first attack. First attack initiative is determined by surprise, charging attack, higher dexterity, higher, but you do get the initiative, therefore you go to attack. Base score to hit. The base score on a percentile dice is the opponent's armor class value times 10. So the base chance for you to hit is 30%. Not going to worry about the dexterity. Oh, wait, what's your dexterity?
My dexterity is 12.
All right, so that's plus 12%. So now it's 42%. What is your strength? Over 50. Well, what's your strength?
20.
20, so that's another 5. So that's 42. That's 47%. What is your armor class?
-2.
All right, so that's another plus 2%. So that's 42, 47, 49%. Not slowed, not stunned, not prone. Minus 5% because the movement rate of the creature is greater than 12. So that brings it down to 44. and not hasted. All right, so 44% chance right now to hit. All right, so All right, so go ahead and roll a percentage. First of all, to see if you hit. So you get a 44% chance to hit with your pommel attack against her. This is a little bit different than the other grappling ones in other editions. But this is all based on who goes first, whatever. All right, 26. So you actually hit. So go ahead now and roll another 100%, a D100. Give me a D100 to see what actually happens. So you hit. Is that a 25?
Yep.
All right. So you hit a glancing blow. So I need you to do 2. The damage is 2 plus your strength bonus.
So my strength bonus is plus 8, so 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. All right. Boom. As you manage to pummel her, bam! You just slam into, and you literally watch as her head spins all the way around her. You hear this cracking sort of sound and noise as it sounds like metal breaking or shattering or something as the head literally spins all the way around, causing the golem girl to sort of stumble backwards into the wall, and she's sort of flailing at that point. Ronnie, no, and you can move up to sort of push her to the wall as you said you were.
That's what I was trying to do, is trying to push her against
Oops, sorry, I moved you. I moved you back to. Put yourself where you want, damn it. All right, Ronnie Noblight, you are up.
So she's kind of pinned against the wall.
She's kind of pinned, but she's not. She can still move and swing. She still has her arms free. She still has this strange pistol gun thingy in her hand and a metal bar in her other hand. Ronnie misses badly.
Wouldn't her AC go down?
No.
Or go up?
No. Her AC is going to remain the same, just because it's not just movement and all that stuff, right? It's her AC is built in. As Ronnie hits, and Ronnie manages to sever the spinning head from its neck. As you watch, oh, okay. As Burley reaches up with both paws and rips the head off its neck as the creature drops, or the golem drops to the ground.
Drop it like it's hot.
Good job, Burley.
There you go, Birdie.
As you guys find yourselves now with this strange metallic golem, but what's really, really strange to you is, other than the shading of her skin, which is sort of a grayish, all of the form looks 100% human. It takes a minute or two, but Varys finally comes out of his paralysis as you guys are standing over the form of this female golem, whatever it is.
Oh, it's not worth it.
Definitely take that pistol away and whatever that rod was out of her.
Okay, it's a metal rod, just literally a metal rod, and now you have this pistol that causes paralysis. So, for lack of a better term, we're going to call it a paralysis pistol.
Is it understandably usable?
So yes. Yes. However, I have lethality charts that allow you to investigate alien technology by rolling dice to determine whether or not you can figure out said device or not.
So this is a Stargate.
Do we get any bonuses since we saw it in action?
Let me double check. I'm going to see. I want to double check what it says. Okay. Whenever a new item is discovered, the characters may operate it or merely stow it for later inspection. Any attempt to use such items must use the flowchart below to simulate ignorance. 4 charts are given. The first 2 are simple and complex non-lethal items. The second are for simple and complex lethal items. And so essentially, intelligence less than 10, you add a +1 to your roll. Intelligence over 15 gets a bonus. Like or similar object observed in operation and procedure, you get a bonus. Previous explanation of operation of an item by someone familiar. So in other words, when we figure this out, everybody has to figure it out for themselves. However, if Deglin figures it out, Deglin can give bonuses to Varys while Varys is trying to figure it out for himself.
You said intelligence less than 10. Well, I have an 8 intelligence. So I think
So you would have bonuses for intelligence. You would have bonuses for seeing it in operation, etc. So yes, there are pluses and minuses depending upon the scores. But yes, the bottom line answer is you do have the ability to figure these out. We just have to go through the flowchart. And if you are working your way to figuring something out, but you haven't quite figured it out yet and you want to put it away for later, we just need to annotate where you were at the last time you were checking it out so we don't have to start from scratch.
All right.
Do I get any bonus if my backstory has my dad as the president of the Unique Items Club?
You know something? I would normally say yes, right? But this is an alternate timeline where your dad was the president of nothing. So,
Oh, man.
alternate timelines have a lot to do with sci-fi adventures. So, that being said, does that answer your question, I hope? So, you guys can decide to do with what you want with this.
Well, I think the mage probably have the highest intelligence.
Okay.
Or Satal or Varys, probably. Varys being invisible, then using one of these things to stun an individual, to paralyze them, that would be awesome. You can sneak attack and just paralyze everybody.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
Is your intelligence over 10?
Yeah, it's 13.
There you go. And you saw this thing in operation. Not only did you see it, you experienced it.
I experienced it. I understand. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm willing to give it a try if they want to wait a little bit and let me play with it.
All right. So, just so we are aware, each dice roll is about 10 minutes of investigation. Just so you're aware. Okay?
Do any of my cooking skills help me?
No.
Oh.
No.
I think the rest of us will just kind of like stand guard while he.
Yeah, that's fine. Good idea.
And we have to roll above or below?
It doesn't matter. He just has to. So, Varys, you get this device, and as I said, it's sort of a warty glass, right? You see as you put it in your hand and stuff, you see it has this sort of a strange spongy grip. It's rubber, right? But it's a strange sort of to your hands. It's a strange spongy kind of a grip, but it feels naturally comfortable in your hand. The tapered end, the pointy end, sort of points back toward you, and you can see the wide bulbous glass. And inside, you can see what looks to be a bunch of metal dials and, for lack of a better term, wires and strings and stuff, sort of looping in and around. And it has these 4 or 5 or 6 sort of metallic pieces that form like they're pointing to a single spot in space. And when you watched it happen, you watched as these lights sort of flickered up and they shimmered down, and then they formed this little ball of light right at the end of it, and then this little ray comes shooting out at you. So you've definitely seen it. So as you go to investigate that, go ahead and give me a first of all, you're going to be rolling on a die 10, right? For your bonuses, what's your intelligence?
13.
13?
Yeah, 13.
Okay. All right. Oops, hang on just a sec. Want to make sure I got all these. Okay. All right, so your intelligence is good, and you've seen this before. So when you roll it, I want you to take a -1 on your dice roll. So it's a D10 minus
Minus
D.
one.
Yep, D10 -1.
Okay.
All right, as you sort of go to play around with it, you're not sure what you do, but suddenly this thing starts to light up, and you watch as the shimmering and flickering lights, like little bolts of lightning inside, sort of flash, and then there's this little, like a humming sound, and then and this beam of light goes blasting past your friends into a wall. You're not really sure what you did or how you did it, but you got it to do something, but you're not really sure what you did. So it's probably going to require further investigation.
Alright. I'll try it for another period of time.
Okay?
Another
Just
-1.
yeah, it's still going to be a -1 because you've seen it before. All right. You're looking at it and you're like, oh, you see there's this little button on the handle where you normally grip it, and and it's at the very bottom. So you're gripping the handle, and at the very bottom, you as you're looking around, you realize there's a button there, and you sort of press that button, and boop, out pops one of those strange-looking coins that you found in the room right down the hallway. You found that strange-looking,
Yep,
what you thought was a weight. This one, it has the line. There's like 6 lines, right? It's like on the second one on the left, right? And so as you put the coin back in, you hear the hum begin. So you're like, oh, when I put this in, this whatever this coin is makes this work. So you stick the coin in and you're like, oh, you hear this little humming. And then you say, oh, and if I pull the trigger, but you don't pull the trigger. So you have effectively learned how to use a paralysis pistol.
Awesome.
Oh. And you said that you found another coin that was all the way to the.
No, he found a coin in the room down the hall where you guys found that weird
Yeah,
device that, yeah.
I had the string or number all the way to the right, so I'm wondering if that's like ammo or something for the device.
So this is what he found in the
Yeah.
room, right? I'm showing it on the stream. He found one of these little coins on the floor in the room with the skeletons down at the end of the hall where you found the trash, and Ronnie found that weird looking piece of glass with the metal U-tube on it. And he found this coin, but the little string that, instead of being in the middle like the picture shows, to hit the string that he found was all the way to the right. The one that he popped out of this paralysis pistol was on this second line on the left. So you go, think of it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was on number 2 when the coin popped out.
Right. The one he found is it the same size coin?
It's the exact same, other than the only difference is where the line is.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's some kind of ammo
So-
or charge or something
so-
like.
Charge.
Right.
Can I'll pop the one out
Okay.
and put the other one in and
Okay.
see what it does.
It does the exact same thing. You hear this little no
Oh, the
different
other
than the
one
other
is
coin.
not depleted, so
There,
we'll-
there's no kind of like readout or anything that
No.
tells me a number or anything.
No, nothing that you see on it. Anything.
Alright,
Just
I'll
sort of like a little hum when you insert the
Alright.
coin.
I'll swap them back
Okay.
and then put the other one back in my pocket. And,
Okay.
I'll hang on to this if
Okay.
no one else minds.
No, I think that's a great idea.
No,
Okay.
I think that's. I am intrigued. Perhaps this glass tube looking thing I'm having in my pouch is also some kind of paralyzation death ray.
Well, I mean, it could be, or it could be
Um,
something
yep.
different.
So a couple of things that I want to note. First of all, you see that there are several open doors around you guys. You see
Mm-hmm.
one here. You see two up here, one here. But what's also interesting is you see there's these other doors. These doors have panels, these little panels, but there's no slot. There's no slot above the panel. It's just a plain little panel next to it.
Okay, interesting. Well, let's look at these open doorways first.
Just to be clever, I'm gonna push on the panel next to this door right.
Okay? As you push on the panel, the door opens and bright light sort of floods out into the hallway where you're at. And inside, it looks to be some kind of a tavern of some kind. There's a whole bunch of tables made of metal and weird looking bone of some kind, chairs and stuff that are sort of sitting up. The whole place is sort of trashed and in disrepair, but it definitely looks to be some kind of a, I don't know, a tavern or an eatery of some kind.
Huh.
Chow hall?
Where you want to
Chow hall. It absolutely, as a matter of fact, Ronnie, it absolutely kind of reminds you of a barracks chow hall.
Check it out.
Yeah, don't touch any food when you're in.
All right,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I am going to give me a moment to
Alright.
get back up there. I will be more prepared next week with descriptions and stuff, I promise, because I'll have all this stuff handy instead of having to scroll the entire. All right, where are we? So, again, these definitely look like chow halls to you. Very brightly lit in here, though, as compared to out there. There's like the ceiling is almost like the entire ceiling glows kind of a pale, luminescent, sort of a fluorescent light, if you will. At the far end, you can see that there is a door. Not sure about the panel though, but it has a panel next to it, but you're not really sure what color it may be. Again, everything in here is in ruins. Everything's been jumbled about. You can see that there are numerous skeletons, although they're not full skeletons, but pieces of skeletons scattered everywhere, from skulls to bones to hands to feet. But it's all been like, it's like somebody took a bunch of toy skeletons and ripped them apart and just kind of threw them about the room.
Oh, search around, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do a search and looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. Go ahead and give me
Does it look like a lair?
What's that?
Does it look like what a lair would look like when an animal
No.
eats and kills and has a pile of bones?
No. So searching about the room, you don't really find anything worth of value that you could think of. The door that you guys are looking at down here, if you look at the door, it does have a panel, but the panel is a brownish color.
We're gonna need probably some key to open this one. Unless we want to see what Ronnie's strange device does and see if it blows open the door.
Well, I'm not opposed to trying to figure out what my device does.
I'm just gonna just swiftly give the door a good kick.
Okay.
See if it's open.
Nope. It is not. It is closed. All right, Ronnie, if you wish to tinker around with your device, let us go ahead and begin. Go ahead and give me, well, first of all, what is your... What is your intelligence, Ronnie?
11.
Okay. Um, all right. So I just need you to give me a regular old die 10 roll, no modifiers. Ronnie rolls a 5. As you figure out that you begin to sort of move this thing and you see, oh, I can fold it up here and it sort of fits in my hand really well here. Has this little button over here where my thumb is. Has this little sort of tweaky thing on the other side. And as you're playing with it, suddenly the glass itself becomes no longer opaque, but you see strange writings and inscriptions and like lines sort of forming on it. If you wish to continue, I need another die 10 roll, please. As Ronnie's like, oh, I understand this. And as you sort of move it around, you watch as the lines begin to move in and out. As you sort of move and and you sort of like point it at your friends as it's sort of circling and they all duck. You watch as the lines kind of hone in and you're like, oh. And so as you focus in on one of the bone kind of chairs that's sitting there and you press your thumb, you hear this sort of this like a low pitched squeal, and then the entire light or the entire frame of glass lights up, and this blue beam of light that's the exact same size of the glass. There's a beam of light, like a rectangular beam of light that's the exact same shape as the glass, zooms in and blasts the chair, and you watch as it explodes into smithereens as you now know how to operate a blaster pistol. And as you're playing with it, you too find this little notch, and you flip the notch up, and this little door opens on the back of it, and inside you pop out one of those coins. And this coin has the line on it all the way to the right, but -1. So it's not all the way to the right, but it's like over at number 4 as opposed to all the way. I'm sorry, it's over at 5 instead of on 6.
All right. I'm going to get, okay. DM, I don't want to stop listening to you, but my dog looked me in the face, and I know when he looks me in the face like that, he
Gotcha.
needs to go.
That's all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, is 10 minutes enough for you, or do you need 15?
Oh, no, 10's good.
All right, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break here just because I also have to take a break. So we're going to take, but in the meantime, we now have a paralysis pistol that we understand, and we have a blaster pistol that we understand. But we're going to take a quick few minutes here just so we can kind of get our bearings here and let our druid go out there and why did it not why is it not playing on the audio capture? Monkey's music is not coming out. What's going on? All right, give me a minute here. Something is weird here. You guys can hear me, right? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
gonna say, it's weird, but for some reason the monkey's music is not. I am confused. My OBS is not doing what it's supposed to do. Is anybody out on the stream? Because I am not. I was just curious. Stream intermission. That's what we wanted. It's weird because normally I can just like right click on it. It's giving me preview. I don't understand why it's. I'm just confused. I don't know why. Maybe it's because OBS is being stupid. I don't know. We are streaming, right? It's we're out there on the stream.
Yeah.
I hope. Yeah, because I'm just kind of looking because it's not showing any of the chat. It's showing me this preview mode, and I don't know why. I got a feeling it has something to do with the fact that I lost power and it restarted, and so I don't know why. But it's like none of the, let's see here, docs. It's like really weird that it's. I wonder if it's saying I'm not connected. That is bizarre because it's like it's not showing like Monkey's music isn't playing or nothing. So I don't know why Monkey's music would not be playing. Monitor and output, it should be playing, but it's like, can we? Is anybody on the stream? Do you hear it out on the stream? Are we aware? If not, I can always go out there on the stream. But I'm just kind of cute. But we're gonna take like 15, so or 10 minutes. I mean, so let me set that up really quick, and I'll just do a 10-minute thingy. So that's just weird, man. It's like OBS is suddenly acting really stupid. So let's do 10. We're gonna start that, and hopefully, yeah, it's showing on there, but it's just not. I don't know why. I don't know why Monkey's. I don't know why it's not showing. It's like I can't right click it or anything. Like, let me try this. Try this.
Boost by Kroger
There we
Plus
go.
is more than
That's
worth
weird,
it.
man. Like OBS
For
wasn't doing what it's
$59 per
supposed to
year,
do.
you get free delivery in
I blame Monkey.
refrigerated trucks and 2 times fuel points
Yes.
that can help you save big. Try Boost by Kroger Plus free for 30 days and start saving more. You'll have less worries.
Yeah,
and
it's
more
like it's not
rewards. So what are
showing
you
the
waiting
chat
for?
on
Join
there either.
now.
So that's kind
Kroger,
of weird.
fresh for everyone. Eligible
So-
for free grocery delivery on orders over $35. Restrictions apply.
I hate
See
ads.
site for details.
I hate them with a passion.
Yep.
The Venture X card from
And
Capital
another
One
ad.
gives you premium travel
I blame
benefits,
Monkey.
perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, presented by Capital One. Oh, I do
So you're
love
going
her.
to
Earn 5 times
go
miles
out
on flights
and
10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital
Yeah.
One. What's in your wallet?
on our stream
Terms apply.
manager.
See CapitalOne.com for details.
That is like totally bizarre. There we go. Now we got monkey music. And we'll be back about 8 minutes. All right. I appreciate everybody that's hanging out with us. Fortunately, I think the storms have passed, and so we're gonna hang out here until our folks get back. What is that that's playing right now? I think I like that one. Monkey went and made changes to our music, man. But again, I appreciate everybody that's hung out with us during these issues. Lost power a couple times during the early part of the streaming just because of the storm that rolled through. Fortunately, we weren't down really long. But I appreciate everybody that's out there with us. If you guys haven't given her a follow, I see that Darling's out there somewhere. Go check out her stream. If she's streaming tonight, I'm not sure. I hope she is because I need somebody to raid. So, Darling, you have to stream tonight, whether you wanted to or not, just so that I have somebody that I can raid to. So you make sure you get your ass over there. And everybody that's out there, though, I definitely appreciate it. If you haven't clicked the follow button, please do so. Where is this weird stuff coming from, Monkey? Did you do this?
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. You did it.
No, I'm playing this. Supposedly, this is from your stuff. At least I thought. Some of the stuff I recognize, other stuff I'm like, I don't recognize.
Did you click where it says playlist?
Yeah.
You click the Pearland Adventure playlist?
Wait, hang on a sec.
Or else I'll just play random stuff.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to have been. I mean, I did the same thing I always do, so I don't know what the hell. Let's try this. Get rid of this. Maybe that's why. Here we are. There's the monkey music I recognize. That's just weird. I've never had to do that. It's always been queued up for me when I've gone to it, so. All right, I'm an idiot. I admit it. Don't judge me. But I am glad to be back, even though everything went. You know what though? This is why we call ourselves Shiza Cinema. Am I right? So if you want to know how to not stream, you need to come check us out every week, because I will give you masterclass lessons in how not to conduct a stream. So looks like we got a good group of folks out there, man. Learn Music still out there. Darling's there. Cardman, Agamarin, definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. Shout out to all my boys. Maybe next week I'll have photos up from our why we were gone for so long, but I spent 10 days in Hawaii, and boy did I need it. So good. Came back to a firestorm at work and it was like, great. But I'll be back momentarily. I gotta reload my drink. And here we come back. I just kind of let that one taper off a little bit because I knew it was the end of the song. I appreciate you guys that are sticking around with us through all of the trials and tribulations of tonight's stream. For those that were with us, we have just did our first combat. Fought a android of sorts. What the party is now seen as a female golem. They're investigating what appears to be some kind of a dining hall or cafeteria or whatever you want to call it in medieval times. But you guys investigated and don't really find anything like worth of value here. Other than the fact that it is brightly lit in here. It's outside. It's kind of dark outside where Zadkiel is, but the light spilling into the halls. However, there is light sort of spilling out of the open doors here as you guys searched. And also, I want to just note, need to make sure, first of all, that we keep track. Varys, first of all, you have a coin that the line is at 6, right? So if you just want to call it a power coin with 6 charges.
Yeah, I noted him in the treasure.
Yeah, and then the paralysis pistol has a coin with so the paralysis pistol has 2 charges left. And Ronnie, your blaster pistol has 5 charges.
I wrote that on the I guess you'd call it index card for the pistol. DM, do you have damage for that so I can at least just have that going?
Yeah, let me grab that for you. So,
and range if you have it.
Yep, I will give that to you right now so I don't forget. Same thing. I'll give the same thing to the paralysis. So the blaster pistol, short range 30 feet, medium range 60 feet, long range 90 feet. Rate of fire twice per round. Damage 5 to 30 hit points. That's 5d6. However, there is saving throws. If you are wearing armor, you make your saving throw, you don't take any damage, but your armor is destroyed. Well, I should say another saving throw for the armor is required. So if you fire at somebody that's wearing armor and you hit them and they make their saving throw, they have to make another saving throw for the armor. If they fail the second save, the armor is destroyed. And you get bonuses for magic, etc., etc. But the bottom line is, if you fail if you don't have armor on and you make your saving throw, that's half damage. So normal combat, normal people without armor, if you get hit, they're going to take 5 to 30 half damage if they save. So, yeah, so basically you know that when you're looking at this thing, it has a little knob on it, and as you're focusing in and targeting on somebody, you sort of turn that little knob and the lines move, and that's what sort of zeroes in on them with the range, etc., right? So the saving throw for this is versus petrification, by the way. So if you hit somebody, they have to make a saving throw versus petrification to see whether or not they take damage. Okay? So, and again, I'll give you this whole thing. When it's found, this item's usually folded, weighs about 1.5 pounds, and be unfolded to about a foot. It's comprised of a U-shaped section of metal rod with a black rivet at one end and an attached piece of thick glass mounted on a frame. This glass is about the size of a hand mirror. On one side of the frame are 2 raised discs, while the other side is a fine mesh mounted on the rod. The 2 sides of the glass are dark on one side and clear on the other. So in other words, the viewing side that you're looking through is clear. It's opaque on the firing side, if you will. In the hinge joining the handle is a slot about the size of a coin. So that's where you slide the coin in. The pistol is operated by turning the top dial. On the viewing side of the screen, crosshairs and range figures will appear, although it's in an unintelligible language, so you're not really sure how far. The second dial will magnify the scene slightly. Once a target selected, the pistol is fired by pressing the black button on the handle. Saving throw is versus petrification. Armor which does not save is effectively destroyed. Each time armor is hit by a blaster, its saving throw is thereafter a -3 cumulative. Or, in the case of a shield, -2 and the shield is destroyed. Let's see. For example, the armor is being destroyed in the process of saving its wearer. Shields of less than +3 value are always destroyed from the first hit of the blaster. So if you have a +3 shield, it gets hit by the blaster, it then becomes a +1 shield. So every hit takes off 2. So if it's less than a +3, it automatically destroys the shield, right? So as part of the saving throw, right? So again, we can work out all the details when the time comes, if the time comes, but just know that magical armor, magical shield get knocked down by an order of magnitude of 2 each time they get hit by a blaster. So, but it does save you from taking all that damage. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. And the paralysis. This looks like a glass bottle or retort with a pimpled or warty surface and a black handle on one side. Inside the bottle may be seen threads, wires, globes, and a rod. The broad end of the bottle has a rounded metal plate with several brass prongs sticking out of it. The narrow end is capped with a silver sheath and a golden ball. The black handle has a rounded panel larger than a coin with a rivet in the center. The pistol is fired by squeezing the handle, pointing the broad end of the pistol toward the target. When fired, there will be a humming noise and many flashing lights and sparks go off inside. A small number of sparks will shoot from the golden ball at the narrow end, but the ray from the other end will be invisible. If the small button in the handle is pushed, the raised disc will pop open, revealing a spot for the power disc. Paralysis lasts 3 turns at short range, 2 at medium range, and 1 at long range. A successful saving throw at short range indicates the paralysis will only last 2 to 12 rounds. At medium range, a successful save means that the target creature is paralyzed for 1 to 4 rounds and slowed to half movement and attack for 1 to 4 rounds thereafter. So they'll be paralyzed and then slowed. At long range, a successful save means the creature is slowed for 1 to 4 rounds. Note, slowed creatures lose all dexterity bonuses. Slowed creatures struck by the paralysis ray are automatically paralyzed for 1 to 3 turns according to the range. And its range is short 20, medium 40, long 60. And its area of effect is a 60-foot long cone, 30 feet base diameter. So it's essentially a cone that goes whoop out that way. So, yep. So that's essentially what it would be. So essentially, it starts from you, goes out 60 feet, and anything like there'd be a 15 feet at the end of that cone. So that triangle, anything in that triangle can be affected by the paralysis. So, all right. Any other questions on the devices? Just to kind of get that housekeeping out of the way. So, as I said, you guys searched this room, didn't really find anything worth of value. It's very much like the other rooms that that you guys have looked at.
Well, let's look up here.
Okay.
I see bodies on the floor.
Yep.
But the bodies hit the floor.
Just want to double check to make sure this is okay. Yep. I want to
There
do
you
a.
go. Rain the pistol as I look around.
You look into this area, and this one is very similar to some of the other rooms you're in, although this doesn't look like a private room of any kind. It looks like there are many what used to be couches and soft chairs and stuff like a lounge of some kind.
Mhm.
However, there are numerous skeletons of various sizes and shapes and various bits of completeness, right? So many of them are broken into different pieces and stuff. So you see legs and heads and other stuff kind of lying around. But at the same time, there are also others that are there incomplete, right? So complete skeletons.
Search the place.
All right, go ahead and give me a search.
And I'm gonna look at the body and identify how.
Okay. So as you search around, Varys, you actually find something that looks like it could be valuable. It looks like a very ornate piece of jewelry with what you recognize easily as diamonds and sapphires and perhaps a small bracelet, maybe for a child, at least a child of our world. Maybe it's a normal sized person's bracelet in their world. But whoever these people were that lived here were obviously smaller than you, but it is a very ornate necklace. Not necklace, but bracelet. And you'd value it at probably 600 gold.
Yes.
Other than that, you guys don't find anything worth of value or.
Could I identify how the skeleton died?
No, you're not. You kind of looking them over. Very similar to other skeletons that you've found already, in that their bodies have been stripped clean of most everything, including flesh. Although you're not sure if the flesh was eaten off them or it was just due to decomposition. But they do have little, like, tiny teeth marks on them as well.
So rat.
Could you use the bones for ingredients or weapons?
Probably could.
Yeah, don't really yet. All right, well, I do another. I didn't search this room.
Okay, you can do a search. Yeah, nothing else of value other than what Varys has already found. Trying to remember where you guys are on the map.
Closed door up here. Does that door have a panel?
No, the door. It has a panel, but it's a colorless panel.
Oh.
Well, we haven't searched this room over here yet.
You have not. That is an open door over there.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go there. Then we'll
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This appears to be, I don't know, maybe an office of some kind. Just a couple of old bone tables. Again, I say bone, but it's actually plastic. But it's very foreign and whatnot looking to you. But everything else has been busted up and torn and thrown about, as there doesn't appear to be anything of value.
All right. We'll see the chest and everything.
Okay. Yeah, you find nothing.
All
Down
right.
the hall, you can see some more doors and another hallway, leading into darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you want to do? You want to check the door up here?
got no lock on it. Should let me.
Yeah, maybe we can try it. Oh,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Does this door in the Western Hall look like it had a panel lock?
Wait, which one?
The one over here?
Yeah, they appeared to have black panels.
Okay. Yeah.
As you step into here, it looks what appears to be an extremely large gathering place. You can see
wow.
long tables in two separate halves or two separate rooms. On the wall over here, there appears to be some kind of a, I don't know, for like a big screen of some kind like a plain screen.
If you shut
Um,
the door.
I don't know.
I'm trying to go in and it's not letting me. Every time
Bec-
I go that way, it shuts the
Because you
door.
have to be smarter than the door, dude.
I'm not that smart.
All right. Well, the door itself is as wide as the entire thing, so I don't know how you can not get through the door, but
It
leave it to
literally would
Degla.
not let me go through.
All right. So again, as you sort of look in this first area that you're in, there are dozens of dozens of chairs along several long tables, huge pile of detritus across in the far corner. But again, along the western wall, there appears to be like some kind of a flat screen or something. It kind of reminds you of a privacy screen that you may have seen. The material is almost like a privacy screen, but it's flat on the wall. There's a little metal tray running along the base of it, and there looks to be what's left of a wooden podium shattered and destroyed, like right here on the floor as you guys first come in. In the far room, you see that there are two U-shaped tables, and the detritus is just sort of right here in the middle. Looks to be maybe, again, some old podium or something like that may have been in the middle, but it's now long since been destroyed.
I'll search around, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
That doesn't mean anything.
I thought if you roll the one, you
No,
at
one
least
just...
succeeded in searching.
Yeah, you succeeded. I mean, or it could mean anything. Yeah, you don't find anything in particular of value, but you do find scrap parchment or some material. It's weird. It has this sort of a waxy kind of a feel to it, and as you look at it, it has really weird and strange writing on it. Nothing that you've ever seen before. In any language that you know, Varys, or actually Deglin.
Can I do my read language?
Sure, you can try.
No pictures.
No, it does not appear to be pictures. It's all sort of scrawled writing. Yeah, as you sort of look in it, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be anything remotely close to anything that you have ever seen. Varys, so it's definitely of a different race or a race of people who may have never been heard before or were here long ago that no longer are here. However, probably would be valuable to like lore masters, those that collect such things.
Well, storing away, and I don't see any doors, so I guess we can head back out.
Yeah, there do not appear to be any other exits in this room.
Let's check out the screen thing.
Okay.
Any buttons?
No, it's actually just there's like a flat, sort of a slightly curved tray along the base of it made of metal. Runs along, it's about 20 feet long, and it runs along the whole base of it, and then the screen itself, or the panel itself, is about 20 feet long and 10 feet tall. I should say that you notice in your search, Deglin, that directly over the middle table, there's this metal box hanging from the ceiling, and it has a huge sort of like a round lens of some kind right on the front of it.
I go over. Can I get up on top of the table?
Yep.
Check it out. Check the box.
Just a little out of range. The ceiling's about 15 feet tall or so. So you can see it closer. It's just a strange metal box that has some kind of a black rope sticking out of the back of it running up into the ceiling. And it has this kind of a glass lens on the front of it, encased in a sort of this black piece of bone material.
But no buttons or anything like it.
On the back of it, it looks like there might be some kind of buttons of some kind, but unsure. One of them is like a little toggle switch. It has a 0 on one side and a flat line on the other.
Which one is it pointed?
It is on the 0.
Try to use my staff. Flick it to the 1.
Okay. You push it to the 1, and you hear this little humming sound. A moment later, you see this beam of light projecting from the front of the device, and it starts displaying a brilliant white light that directly fits the screen. So the screen itself is now completely illuminated.
Just white?
Yep, just plain white light.
What other knobs or buttons are on there?
Does not appear to be. Well, there's actually a couple. They like look like little dials, little raised dials that you can grab and sort of turn.
Okay. Tell nobody to stand in front of it, and I'll let it Declan. You want me to turn one of them?
Sure, I'll lift you up.
I'll turn one.
Okay, so Deglin lifts Varys, where Varys gets enough where he can reach the 2 knobs. And as you begin to twist, suddenly the white light starts to become focused. And in the sorry, I'm going to have to grab a picture here. Have to grab me a picture here, sorry. It begins it starts to come into focus, and you realize that it's some kind of an animal. It looks almost like a badger to you. Not really sure if that's what it is, but it kind of reminds you of a badger. Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
Say, Ronnie, what is this?
Yeah, maybe Ronnie can.
I can identify animals.
If I can freaking find it. Sorry, I gotta have to scroll through here to find out what it is.
They give you so much.
Huh?
What? Oh, I'm just gonna give you a hard time.
Oh no, give me a hard time I want. Like I said, it's a matter of scroll. I should have labeled the pictures with stuff that would be easy to find, but so you see that it is this.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was.
It reminds you of a badger. Ronnie, you've never seen anything about it. It looks like some sort of a wizard's abomination between a badger and something else, but it's got like 6 legs. But it's something you've never. Yeah, it's huggable and lovable. But it's not.
On site.
But it's not something you've ever seen before, Ronnie. But that's sort of the display that's being showed.
All right. Well, it just looks like it has more limbs for hugging. It must
Yes.
be a hugging monster.
It's a hugging badger. The hug-a-badger.
That's exactly what it is, a hug-a-badger.
All right.
Not to be confused with the honey badger.
All right. Where to next? Anywhere?
Do we want
Yeah, let's
any
just go
more,
anywhere.
any more knobs, or do we want?
No, that was the only
That was it? All
Yep.
Zatkill just says, we don't need no stinking badgers.
Oh my god. That was actually pretty good.
All right. Well,
Go down that other hall.
Hang on just a sec.
I mean, I don't remember. We'll have to go back and see what if any other doors are not labeled. We need to find some of these keys.
Yeah, we get or something that opens these doors. My assumption is that there's some type of
There might be some kind of power thing or something too that we
Your
need
little-
to find.
little power chips would. Little power chips would.
Well, I don't think the little circles
Ah!
are the doors.
Ah, damn it.
They're made to power the
Damn it.
weapon.
Hang on a second.
Made to power the weapon.
Hang on. Sorry. It's like I'm trying to open up the stream and it won't let me mute it. So everybody talking was coming through like 3 times when I'm trying to mute. There we go. Okay. All right. Let us entertain you. Okay. I think I'm good now. We are heading out. Ooh, there we go.
If we see any more doors that don't have a color, we're gonna check them. Otherwise,
Okay.
Is this one marked?
Let me see. No, that one also is free of any. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Which one are you guys in? Where am I at? There I am. So this room is very similar to the room directly across on the other side, just a little bit smaller tables, and it is not quite as brightly lit as the room across.
I'm gonna go down and check
You
this.
know what?
As you go down to that door, Deglin, you find that it is a brown paneled door.
Search the room.
Okay. Yep. Searching around the room. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be anything worthwhile.
Do these look like maybe like the detritus might be like plates, food?
Yeah, absolutely, it could be.
That's what it reminds me of. Is like some type of dining.
That's exactly what this is. Actually, it's a dining hall. Yep, or one of.
It's had a large population if there's this many dining halls.
Well, I'm thinking like this one was maybe the officer's one if it was a little nicer, and then the other one was.
Well, yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be.
Wait, say that again.
I was thinking this one might be like officers if it's nicer, and then
Right.
the other one was like enlisted.
Right. Okay. There's a plan. Yeah, but definitely this one seems a little more homey. Although everything has been destroyed and turned over, even though they show tables and chairs, or everything's been flipped and turned and destroyed more or less. But it's definitely smaller, a little more intimate than some of the other ones you guys have walked in.
Yes, if that's the kitchen in between the two of them, we can't get
That's
it.
what I'm guessing.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
So brown doors might be like for
Poop.
workers,
Oh,
servants.
Yeah. Wait staff or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or the cooks and the
Yeah.
waiters.
Well, which way we want to go? We want to go back or down this hall?
Might as well go
Well,
down.
we'll go down this hall since we're here.
I mean, you have also to the east. You've got that you guys are going. You got to the north that you guys are going, but you guys are headed to the west. West it is.
Well, this door has a black panel, right? So
That is correct.
Is this one also black?
As you get to, yes, all of the doors that you see here are black.
There's another open one here, though.
Where's that? Where's that?
Right here?
Yep. And as you, hang on a second. I'm trying to figure out where you guys are. Okay. Yep. I'm just looking. It's like, dang, man. There's like so many, like tunnels and stuff that they can go through. Yes. So you see the first two are, or the first door is a black door, and the second one is an open room, roughly 10 feet by 20 feet long. You can see that this room is pretty much devoid of anything. Let me, just because I want to keep you guys on your toes here. Inside you see there is a single skeleton intact, lying amongst the refuse.
Let's look through it.
Okay.
See if it has any keys.
Yep. Unfortunately, you guys find nothing of value. You see that the doors to the south of it are also black doors, although the hallway ends in a brown... Oh, sorry. No, it does. Yes. The hallway ends in a brown door.
Well, maybe we can guess that the black doors are personal quarters, maybe? Or room for barracks?
There's definitely a lot of them, so it's sort of seems to be a common color.
Yeah. So they're private, like, apartments for crew or whatever. For soldiers. That's kind of disturbing that there's so many of them. We want to go this way? Go west?
Oh, is there a panel on this door?
Which door?
The one that was open. Like, is there any?
No, there's no door. It's just an open doorway.
Oh, okay.
Nope. So as you move down the hall, you pass a couple more of these black doors. You come to an intersection with a large hallway running north and south as your hallway continues across the way. To the north, you see that it's actually a little more brightly lit. But before you guys get too far, as Burly Bear gets up here, he starts sort of grunting as he he roars as if there is something nearby. Suddenly, a door across the hall opens. And coming out to see what made the sound are a pair of small pygmy-like creatures that look like they are made of plants. They have spears in their hand, and upon seeing you, they begin chittering, and they run back into the room behind them, closing the door behind them. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh, okay. I mean, blast them with the fertilizer.
Yep. That is where we are going to end tonight's session. I appreciate everybody that was hanging out with us tonight. I definitely did not want to get into any kind of combat or anything that could have been protracted and long, just so that we could get ourselves to bed on time. But yep.
That 1 and that 20 over.
What's that? Oh yeah. I'll roll them over. Yeah, I'll roll the nat. So the party has a nat 1 and a nat 20. The DM has a nat 20 that we will carry over. But you did see these pygmy creatures. They're only about maybe 2.5 to 3 feet tall, bearing spears that look to be made of bone, or pointed objects that look to be made of bone. And so that is where we are going to pick it up with next week's game. I appreciate everybody that has hung out with us. We are going to shift over into our after party. I know some of you know what that is. Some of you may not know what that is, but essentially we just kind of hang out for a little bit after the stream, those that can hang out. But I do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed our first stream back from vacation. As I said, I promise next week I will hopefully have our Hawaiian trip vacation pictures up and posted somewhere. So if you guys are in the Discord, I'll drop it in there and you guys can go check it out. See some of the places that we saw and some of the sites that we saw. Went hiking on Diamond Head. So see you later, Lando. So yeah, man. So it was pretty awesome. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. Let's see, what do we
Good
have?
job, Ian. Thanks.
Hopefully it was okay to you. I don't know if it was a good game or it was, but it was definitely interesting to say the least. So we're gonna hang out here for a little bit. If you guys want to join us, we'll pop over to Discord. If anybody does, let me know, and we'll pop over to the open channel so that people can hang out with us. If not, I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit as I kind of shut down my various thingamabobs like Forge. Let's pause the game, shut that bad boy down, and let's see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to have probably like 3 exports tonight for the game. Normally, I just right after the stream, I'll get an alert from Yahoo, or not Yahoo, but Gmail saying, "Hey, you've your stream's ready to go," and I'll go export it. But tonight, probably not so much, just because of the fact that I've got 3 that I have to export. So I'm going to have to figure out it should be pretty easy to know what order is in there, right? It should do them in order, I would think. But I definitely appreciate everybody that came out tonight. For those of you that dropped the nat 1s and nat 20s on us, I definitely appreciate that. I know, well, for sure, I know Jacob did. Jacob Corvus Bray from our 5th edition game swung by, and he's the one that gave us the nat 1s and nat 20s, I think. For those of you that renewed your subscriptions, I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you guys will continue to join us as we pick this up next week, as our party continues their delve into the barrier peaks. Hopefully you guys enjoy this adventure. It's always been one of my favorites. I haven't had a chance to run it a lot. That's why a little bit confusion this time. Plus, I was really lazy between vacation time, so I did not jump in and do any real prep. The biggest prep that I did is I had to draw all the walls on the map. That was enough prep in and of itself, man, because if you haven't looked at these maps, there are a lot of walls and a lot of doors. I had to map every single one of them, and I dropped lights where lights are supposed to be, and so it took me a while to get all that. But hopefully next week I'll be prepared in the sense of having descriptions handy without having to scrolling through the map, so I can quickly say, oh, that's what this is. Oh, that's what this is. And just do it that way. So grab the pictures and stuff like that. And that was the other mistake that I made. The original module had all the pictures numbered, and in the module it says, hey, show them picture 45 or whatever. So instead of doing that, I would much rather just scroll through my list of pictures and say, oh, there's the power coin. Oh, there's the blaster pistol. But why didn't I do that? I don't know. It's because I didn't think that far ahead, but that's okay. But anyway, hopefully you guys had a decent time off. Iger, did you do anything during the break?
Just a little bit of Viking fighting.
Nice. I dig it. Fighting
won.
Vikings is cool. Did you? Get out of here.
I beat everybody.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome.
My 53-year-old fat ass.
Nice. I think I see what happened here. I'm trying to look and see what's going on with like my chat. My chat's not showing anything, so I don't know if it's just because nobody's typed anything.
Maybe it's just your mail. No, it's running.
No, I'm just saying chat out on the stream is fine, but when I look at it in like OBS and on the stream, it doesn't show up in the stream, because I like to have the chat in the stream because people don't always watch us live. I'll get like 100, 200 views post game, right? So over the next week or two, people will watch the stream or bits and pieces of the stream and stuff. And so I like to have the chat in there, but it's not showing here. And I think I'm willing to bet is because it's not connected. And so that's the only thing I could think of, is that for some reason it's not, because we lost the stream and went back in. So that's the only reason I could think of that it's not, why it's not showing. But I will just kind of figure it out a little bit later. So let me see. If we go here, that's it. Okay, that's chat box. Just chatting. Nope, that's the after party. Let's see what else. Just looking. Chat box. There we are. Is that it? Yeah. So that's. If I go here and I interact. It's like I'm not connected. So when I'm looking at, and when I go to interact with the chat box, it doesn't show me anything. So it's like, oh, why is this not? For some reason, Stream Elements. I'm wondering if it's because I'm not in Stream Elements. Oh, it says I'm logged in. Go here. Let's go to my dashboard. So it's got me in there. So now let me see. It's just bizarre that it's not showing this stuff. And I just think it's because of the fact that we disconnected and reconnected. And so now I would have to restart OBS and blah, blah, blah. So I just hate when shit doesn't work like it's supposed to. It's like, hey man, just because I lost power and it restarts, it should just reboot everything as expected. So I don't know, but I'm not going to worry about it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out who we want to raid. Who do we want to raid tonight? Is anybody worth it on tonight? Let's take a look and see. Is she? All right. Yeah, she was on with us earlier, so we haven't seen her a while, so let's let's pick her. So we are going to we're going to be heading out. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that hung out with us. I definitely do apologize for the power outages. The storm rolled through right as we started getting streaming, probably the first hour. We went down 3 times, so kind of bugs me, but is what it is. We are Shiza Cinema for a reason. So I hope you guys will join us this coming Friday, 7:30, same channel, same time, just on a Friday. Our 5th edition game returns as our 5th edition party is getting ready. They're actually seeking out the lost lair of Igwilv, otherwise known as the Lost Caverns of Judge Kanth. If you've never seen that one, that's a pretty tough adventure to run too. The one that one really sucks when it comes to mapping and stuff like that. So I hope I get enough of that done before the game. Because again, I am totally unprepared. Hawaii just completely sucked me in, man. I didn't get anything done, but I appreciate y'all. Thanks for the love. Like I said, we're going to bounce over to Darling. Everybody knows who Darling is. I should not have to say. If you have not followed Darling, you are missing out. So you need to go check her out. So in the meantime, just remember, in a world that you can be anything that you want, all we ask is that you be kind. And let's see how many people we can get over there. Can we get us all over there? Looks like we're getting a few of us. Maybe not all of us, but looks like we got most of us. Cool. All right, folks. We will see you Friday. And if not, hopefully you'll be back next Monday. We'll chuck y'all later. Peace.
Yes. Hello, DM Sean and crew. Can I get a shout out for Agora Quest? What's up, y'all? Oh, streams. Where's your game? You guys getting in trouble?